Welcome, everyone. I am Chris Gore from Film Threat. Happy Wednesday to all of you. We've got a big show today. Alan Ng will be joining me very shortly. We're going to talk about episode 1 of The Last of Us on HBO Max. Also, Alan might have seen the latest episode of Velma. We'll see. Also, our report from the Critics' Choice Awards. Alan and I hung out on Sunday night, and the results will surprise you. Also, we're going to be doing a filmmakers roundtable from Park City, Utah, with filmmakers who are attending and have movies at the Slamdance Film Festival. Yes, Slamdance. Sundance gets all the praise, gets all the news, but to me, the real, true indie filmmakers are at Slamdance. We've got 4 filmmakers that will be joining us today at the end of the show for a roundtable discussion. It's going to be a lot of fun. And plus, your chat questions and comments. Join me today for Hollywood on the Rocks. It's going to be a good time because we get to hang out together and talk about movies and TV shows. Let's go! Alan, how's it going, man?
Good. Yeah, I'm playing double duty here, so
yeah, great. I love it.
Yeah. So
Alan, one of these days he can chew gum and walk at the same time. I believe in Alan. But ultimately, we don't have a producer today, so Alan is here as the producer. So we are looking for a producer specifically for the job of moderating the chat. So you would be kind of in the green room with Alan and I on StreamYard, and we're looking for someone to do that. Unless if Alan does a really good job today moderating the chat, then he can keep that job.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Cool. How's it going, Alan?
Good. Again, it's dry January, so I didn't drink at the award show at all. Someone else did.
Oh my God.
Quite a bit.
We don't want to get into it. The drinks they had like margaritas, some bourbon drink. I don't know. I have pictures. I have pictures of you and I from the awards. But let's see who's in the chat right now. We got a good crowd right here. Lord Thoth. Hey everyone. Hi everyone. Wait, Lord Thoth, weren't you just at Nerdrotic Nooner? I think you were. Solomon Thornton, greetings, dude and dudessa. I've never dudessa. Yeah, dudessa. I think that's it. Hank VP, just the two of us. Is that referring to Chris and Alan? It could be. Solomon Thornton says, if you're ready for Film Threat, give me a hell yeah. And Wizard Shack says, sup. Davina Duckworth. Wait, Davina, good afternoon. It says Davina. Were you at the Nerdrotic Nooner as well? I thought I heard your name. Amanda Nowicki, spending part of my birthday watching Film Threat. Well, Amanda Nowicki, happy birthday. We have a special.
Birthday,
what's that?
I said happy birthday, Amanda.
Oh, happy birthday, Amanda, from both Alan and I. We've got maybe a special birthday gift, a new video that we'll be unveiling later in the show. Courtesy of Glinuccio. Womp Biscuit says Velma is catching more shit than a porta-john at a football stadium. I cannot wait. The nerd far away. Alan, did you get a haircut? Looking sharp. Chris, you always look awesome, even if your hair is flat. I don't know. My hair is unwashed. Let's just say that.
Plus, you've been up for a while, so
it does its own thing. I try not to. I try to just let it do its own thing. Lord Thoth, I was at the Nerdrotic Nooner. I may or may not be a moderator there as well. Wink emoji. Wow, I didn't know that. That's cool. Len Barnett, Critics' Choice Awards was rough to watch. Well, Alan and I will get into that later in the show.
I'll just say more fun than the Golden Globes. That's all.
It definitely was more fun than the Golden Globes. I mean, actual fun. I mean, we had fun, maybe a little too much fun. I'm not ready for dry January just yet. I am going to, please feel free to mock me. I am going to the world premiere of Teen Wolf, the movie that I believe will be on Paramount Plus probably later this week.
There's another Teen Wolf.
There's another Teen Wolf, folks.
So the question I have is, what ethnicity and gender is Teen Wolf?
Who knows? I don't know. I just got invited, and I feel like my dry January starts tomorrow, actually, the day after the Teen Wolf premiere and party. But the venue it's at, it's not like I don't think it's going to be a super fancy world premiere. Just from it's at the Harmony Gold Theater on Sunset.
okay.
Right? I know you're familiar with Alan, so
Yes.
There you go. Fear the Turtle. We'll get some comments and questions before we talk about The Last of Us. Fear the Turtle 21, who's a member, thank you for that. Saw Plane over the weekend after seeing you guys discuss it last week. Loved it. Exactly the kind of action movie I wanted. Simple and to the point. Thanks for the tip, guys. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. We're here to guide you. Not everything Hollywood puts out is trash. I just think that you need, and you just need balance. I was talking about this on the Nooner with Gary Beekler. You need balance. You need, decent, big mainstream, fun popcorn action movies, or, just a popcorn movie. Doesn't have to be action, comedy, whatever. Balanced with a little indie film thrown in there. I've got on Friday, we're going to talk about a couple of indie movies, along with a movie called Missing, which I haven't seen yet, a Skinamarink, which I cannot wait to give you my take on that. But a bunch of small indie movies we're going to be talking about on Friday. Just lots to discuss. So glad that you enjoyed Plane, which came from Lionsgate, which, if I'm correct, I believe Lionsgate is a division of Warner Brothers.
Is it?
They make the movies are small, right? They don't make $100 million plus movies. They make movies that are well below that cost. And because of that, they, I don't know, maybe they have more freedom, fewer notes.
Well, I do know Lionsgate tends to be very star driven. So they're mid-budget indies with a name in it, usually.
Anonymous, I thought Last of Us was mid. It has potential, but feels like it will go in a crap direction. It all leads to The Last of Us 2, unless they change that too. Well, then let's get into it, Alan. Let's actually just start. Hang on. We don't have a producer today. We're producerless. Alan, you and I have watched The Last of Us.
Yes.
Have
you watched the whole thing, or am I the only one who watched the whole thing?
No, I watched it.
Okay.
I finished.
I heard on a different show you'd only seen that.
No, I finished 10 minutes ago, basically. Right before the stream started, I finished it, ran over here, and was ready to start. But no, look, I've seen The Last of Us, and I'm one of those guys that show me. Like, a lot of people are predicting this is going to be terrible. It's going to be awful. I need proof. I need to see the actual thing. So, I'm starting this out by saying also, I have not played the video game. I've downloaded it. I've checked out trailers of the video game, and I personally love zombie movies. I love it because zombie movies can be anything. You can make a zombie comedy. You can make there have been zombie romances, romantic comedies, zombie movies that have made some social commentary, usually not in a lectury way, but just in a hey, consumerism is crazy, right? Like, malls are the death of America, right? My favorite, the 1978 Dawn of the Dead, which I saw in the theater as a kid. And when I saw it, I went and saw a movie marathon, woke up at I think it was they screened it at 2 a.m. and I left the theater. It was 4 or 5 in the morning. It was the weirdest experience ever as a kid to see that film. But I love zombie movies. The 1968 Night of the Living Dead, the original by George Romero, kind of created the zombie movie rules that have been followed by many of the films. You kind of go in like vampire movies, right? They all have these certain rules. Some of them bend the rules, whatnot. And your zombie movie rules were effectively established in George Romero's 1968 film, which I love that when George Romero cast actor Dwayne Jones as the lead, Ben, in that movie, who is a black actor, black gentleman, Dwayne Jones. The script wasn't necessarily written for anyone of a certain race or gender necessarily. And people asked him, so you're going to change the script now? You're going to change the script? Because, you know, your lead actor is black. And he says, no. George Romero refused. And Ben, of course, is the most likable character in that film because he's the smartest. He's the most calm, cool, and collected. And was that your dog?
Yes. No, I farted. No, that was my dog.
But anyways, so I really just love the zombie movie genre from the beginning. Like, and I've loved when people make their own rules. Walking Dead, of course, being the show that I think this will be compared to the most.
Yep.
I think the problem with Walking Dead is it went on too long. As much as it's nice to see the ongoing adventures, I never finished The Walking Dead. I lost interest. I just lost interest.
Yeah.
About
I lost interest when they killed Glenn the first time.
That's exactly it. I lost interest when they killed Glenn. Wait, the first time? Oh, no. The second time when they killed Glenn.
No, the first time when they pretended to kill Glenn.
Right.
And then I never got to see them actually kill Glenn because I heard it was pretty gruesome.
It's gruesome. It was horrifying. And he's, there was no reason for them not to change it. Now, The Last of Us, I don't know a lot about. Other than I'm aware of the video game, and I'm aware that there's a controversy over The Last of Us 2. And what I'm hoping is that that'll change. It's a simple zombie story that starts at the beginning, suggesting that a form of fungus could take over the minds of individuals, humans, and make them violent. There's this great thing. I think it's from like the late 60s. They show this talk show in the 60s where these two scientists are talking about climate, and it's somehow leads a pathway down to fungus, and that there could be fungus that in a way could take over the human mind in a way that hallucinogens do. Cut to the present day. Cut to 2003. And you see the collapse of society because these zombies, these humans now with this killer instinct that comes from a fungus they've been infected. You meet Earl Miller's family and his daughter. It's his birthday. He's kind of having a bad day. He's a blue collar worker, close with his brother. Looks like they work in construction. He has a lovely relationship with his daughter, and then all hell breaks loose. The fall of modern society happens very quickly, and Earl loses someone very close to him. I love this. Like I would say the first third or so is this collapse of society, this fast collapse, and it's great. It's there are these shots that seem, I don't want to say it's like right out of a video game, but there's a shot where you see Earl and his family in the car, and the car is just goes down a street, and then there's a plane that's crashing, and then there's like it's a fantastic series where they're trying to escape. They're just trying to escape in their car. They try to go to the freeway, then they go off the freeway, then they get caught in some city where people are screaming and running out of a movie theater or a bar. It's nuts. That part is awesome. Then it cuts to the present day, and you see Earl, a broken man. Is it Earl? Wait, not Earl. What is it?
No, it's Joel. It's not Earl.
Joel. Why did I say Earl?
I have no idea. Because he looks like
Joel. He looks like an Earl. Oh my God. Thank you for that. Alan, you didn't even correct me. You should have corrected me at the top.
Well, I've never played the game, never seen the series, so even I'm a little shaky on names.
Wait. Did you see the series?
No, I saw the first episode. Definitely.
Yeah, okay.
I've never played
Joel.
The game.
Okay.
It's Joel. Yeah. I don't have a PlayStation, so there's just no way I could.
Okay.
That The Last of Us was ever in my sphere.
All right. When we run this as a regular clip, I'm going to dub over my voice, and it's going to look really bad. Okay. So Joel and now this threw me off. I don't know. Oh God. All right.
Yeah. Are you talking?
Now you're in the quarantine city of Boston. That you kind of a lot of the first episode is world building, and I'll say this: world building, character setups, and I like what I've seen so far. There is a girl, and her character's name is. Sarah. I was gonna say Earl. It's Ellie.
Are you talking the daughter, or are you talking the girl?
I'm talking the girl, played by Bella Ramsey.
Okay,
right?
yes.
Pedro Pascal.
Ellie is the name.
Joel. And thank you, chat, for correcting me. All right, we can take that off now. Where just Jesus. I've had a rough few days. I don't want to go into it, but I've had a rough few days. Let's just say that. But back to The Last of Us. The first episode was all about world building. I don't want to go into the story so much. You've either seen it or you haven't. I don't want to blurt out a spoiler that some people may consider a spoiler. Some people don't, whatever. The point is that I really love this first episode. I don't know what I'm in store for. And I don't know that it's fair to even review it after having only seen one episode. Alan and I have both been gotten in trouble just for the first few episodes were great, and then it was completely downhill.
Yeah.
I mean, I was really optimistic that House of the Dragon turned out to be very good. Not just the first episode, but the whole series. All 10
for me, House of the Dragon, the first 3 episodes were kind of blah. And then it got good.
It got good, but I was still interested. It didn't matter. It was it was this slow burn in a good way. And it was a lot of world building. The Last of Us is also a lot of world building, and I really like it. I like the twist on the zombie genre. Some zombie movies have changed things where they kind of change the rules up a little bit, and that's cool. What was interesting about this is they make it a fungus, that it's an infection via fungus. I feel like there's still more to learn. The show doesn't assume you've played the game, and it doesn't assume that you're stupid. Information is kind of doled out. I like that once you get into the quarantine area, that there's also like a group of people that are trying to free the quarantine area, because the quarantine area, very authoritarian. Crime is just dealt with public executions. It's horrific. So I really like the world building. Of course, it ends with Joel and Ellie going on a quest. A quest of sorts, because she is the key to something that could save humanity. And so very, very, very simple first episode. What I loved about it was not just the fast pace, right? Not just the super fast pace of the show, the way the action played out, but also the character building. There's a thing with Joel's watch. He had this broken watch that his daughter fixed for his birthday, and so that means something. He wears this broken watch, and it's a constant reminder of his relationship with his daughter. Little things like that I thought were really good. And Pedro Pascal is not the Mandalorian in this. He's not like the super cool action hero. He rises to the occasion, which I think is great. But you can see the story being laid out. Now, I've heard things that happen in The Last of Us 2, the video game, and I'll say this: if the producers of this show are smart, they will not go down that path. If the producers of The Last of Us, Craig Mazin and team, are smart, they'll completely throw that out the window and make a correction. Because I think almost universally, when you bring up The Last of Us, everyone talks about how bad the second game was, how it was such a colossal disappointment based on, killing off a major character. I think they would be stupid to do that. I think that what they can do, and I don't think that anyone will be upset by it. Well, you're not following the video games, the accuracy of the video games. It appears as if it's like set up the world fairly accurately to the game, from what I know about it. Now I want to play the game. but I thoroughly enjoyed it based on the first episode. I'm hearing people saying they don't like it. I don't know why, but I'll get your comments. We'll get to your comments, but I want to know, Alan, what you thought of The Last of Us.
Yeah. I mean, for a zombie show, there wasn't many zombies early on. I think I'm cautiously optimistic. What was presented to me in this first episode was fun to watch, interesting to watch, engaging.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like you said, it's hard to kind of judge where it's going having done that. There have been several comments about, don't we get screeners? We do film, and so we generally don't get television screeners, and this would fall in that television category.
Sometimes. Correction.
Yeah, but HBO's never really given us anything, I would say.
No, HBO,
except for documentaries. They've given us screeners to documentaries, but not to most of the other stuff.
I don't need special treatment. I like this. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I'm happy when that happens and we can get a little bit of an early review out or something, but I don't need it. But in any case,
but I
really enjoy what I've seen.
Yeah, I will say again, never having much contact with the video game. I'm not exactly getting the sense of why this game is so great. In fact, I'm watching it. I'm wondering, what kind of game is this? Is this one of those kind of wandering, choose your own adventure type deals? It's like the Telltale games where you encounter people and then you have a series of choices. And then, I've played my fair share of zombie games like Dead Rising, where you're just kind of making weapons and killing zombies. So I am curious as to understand why people love this game so much. But I think, I think this show is solid. I think it's going in a good direction. I do like the fact that it's dealing with this idea of a society, a post-zombie society, that, has set up authoritarian rules in order to protect the people. I mean, can you imagine if a government would threaten you for not taking some medicines or something in order to protect the greater society, and threaten you with things like losing your job or losing certain benefits or basically cast you out on social media? I mean, it would be sad if a world like that ever existed in real life. So having said that, I am kind of, we'll see where we go.
Well, I sensed sarcasm in that last thing that you said.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. Yeah, it's weird. Craig Mazin, I'm very familiar with Craig Mazin. There was a time where I thought about getting into screenwriting, and he has a podcast with, I forget the other gentleman's name, but it's called Script Notes. And they go week by week, just going in depth into how to write a screenplay, how to write for television, how to write movies. And it's very fascinating. Whether you like the work he's done, like the Hangover movies or the Scary Movie franchise, he knows his stuff. But I do know also that he's fairly liberal / progressive. So he's a good screenwriter, and I'm just curious as to does no one see the irony of this story as it relates to what we've gone through the last 3 years?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I've always loved the zombie movie genre.
John August. I'm sorry. John August was the other guy. Sorry.
Okay. So yeah, I've always loved the zombie movie genre. I was a fan of Walking Dead, and I was reading the comic well before the show. So, like I say, it didn't end the way I like. I hope that what they do is they use the world of the video game as a way to maybe tell a story that is improved. Because it appears as if, at least as it applies to The Last of Us 2 video game, that the direction that the story went there just upset a lot of people, really upset a lot of people. And maybe having they have the opportunity to listen to those notes, so to speak, listen to the audience and make changes to the actual series, a television series based on that feedback. So
what you're saying is you're not curious about the sexual preference of every character in this movie?
I don't care. And I don't know when we became obsessed with, like, we have to sort of call out all of the, just sort of the attributes of, it's not even an interesting attribute. What's more interesting is Joel, his sense of integrity, like his devotion to his daughter. He's he's I assume the big brother scolding his younger brother Tommy. Did I get the name right, or is it Earl?
It is Tommy. Earl. God. It's Tommy.
I've ruined my entire day now by getting that name wrong. I really, God, it would happen a few times. It happened a few times when I was on Attack of the Show, and I remember it would break. I was so upset. I got to let that go.
I empathize, because I'll review a movie, and then when I see the movie, I go back and going, I have no idea what the characters' names are. And then you're frantically searching through IMDb and notes, trying to figure out what's the name of this person, what's the name of that person. Right. Yeah.
And then somehow Earl popped into my head. Anyways, but no, I'm going to stick with it. I was sort of mildly interested, and now having seen the first episode, I'm in. Now, will I last the season? We'll see. Is Alan going to talk about Velma? Yes, because the poll results.
If you compare the comments of the poll versus the actual poll, the comments say we shouldn't do it.
But it doesn't matter. We respect the results. The election, it was a fair election. I mean, it was a poll.
Yeah.
But it was a fair poll. There was no, shenanigans, and we have to honor it, Alan. We have to honor it.
I did not like the fact that you allowed ballot harvesting to influence the results. I'm just saying, the comments.
Well, first of all, I want to thank our audience too, just for this is what's great about doing this thing live, is someone can correct me, or 50 people can correct me all at once. We've got almost 500 people watching. So please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed, we really appreciate it. You might even see something like this. All right, there we go. Subscribe to the channel. That's what I'm trying to point out here. All right, let's go to your comments, questions, and concerns. Anonymous, I thought Last of Us was mid. It has potential, but I feel, I already read that one.
Yeah.
So
you got to unstar these comments.
All right. Well, you can do that too.
No, I'm starring comments. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Lord Thoth, Last of Us, first game great, second game apocalypse, first episode good. Well, that's encouraging, Lord Thoth. John Manling, Last of Us 1 is one of my favorite games of all time, but I don't ever plan on playing part 2 because of how they butchered the story. Yes. You got to think that the people behind this show, you've got Pedro Pascal as the lead of the show. Is anyone going to watch this show if the lead, like Rick, once Rick was off Walking Dead, and I had checked out even before that.
Yeah.
But once Rick was off Walking Dead, I thought, what's the point now? What's the point of watching? Hugo M says Pride and Prejudice and Zombies ruled. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I have that movie. Yeah. Len Barnett, so far so good with The Last of Us. I'm hopeful. It seems like most people are enjoying it. Amanda Nowicki, I didn't have a problem with the extended setup for the apocalypse. What I had a problem with was Joel's daughter being portrayed as the caretaker, not the other way around. I didn't mind that. I mean, I haven't played the video game.
So, yeah. I more saw her as kind of the daughter whose father was barely around, and so she learned to become independent on her own.
And also the father was the provider that put his daughter first above himself. Didn't really care so much about his birthday. I don't need birthday pancakes. I don't need a birthday. He's basically celebrating his birthday for his daughter, right? He's sort of begrudgingly, and I like that. I like the dynamic. I thought it worked. It worked for me. But I understand. CD Stein 69 says, in my opinion, even though they made some changes strictly for change's sake, it was pretty decent through most of the episode. Had a few meh moments, but pretty good start. Yeah, I mean, like House of the Dragon, I think got progressively better and hopefully this show will do that as well. I like all the world building with like, okay, what would it be if society fell? Certain things wouldn't go away, like people dealing drugs, people bringing in contraband for money. Appian, Train to Busan was a great zombie movie.
That was a great zombie movie.
The Joker for 20. Thank you, sir.
By the way, Peninsula is not a great zombie movie.
Yes, the Peninsula, I was not a fan. That was the follow-up to Train to Busan. The Joker for 20 says, Mr. Gore, love that shirt. You just made me look through the merch and will soon have my money. More importantly, watching both of you gents and guests over the months has rekindled my love to watch movies again. Keep it up. Well, thank you, Joker. Thank you, Joker. And lay off Batman, would you? Lay off Batman. He's he's got, he's trying to save Gotham here. Horror Punk said, hard pass for me as they did the race swap BS with that terrible human Pedro Pascal. I played through the video game 3 times and that's all I need. All right, well, I don't know even the video game what the ethnicity of the lead character is. Amanda and Wiki, the comic shop I used to work at sold #1 of The Walking Dead for $1,000. Jeez, that is crazy. The Hidden Hand, they made this show so they can ruin the games more than they already have. I don't see how you recover with the last. Are they making a Last of Us 3?
Are they? I have no idea.
Alan, can you look it up?
I don't even have a freaking PlayStation.
Alan, can you just look it up? Alan, just use Google. Are they making, you just type it in. Are they making The Last of Us 3? Alan, 10 seconds.
Cut the blue wire, then cut the red wire, but
Alan,
only if the third wire is yellow.
Alan, I know you can do it, Alan. Do it.
Pull the flange.
Hold on, Alan. Hold on.
69.
Alan, 1 second. Perfect.
Sparkle.
What? All right. Did you find out that they're making a Last of Us 3?
All I see are rumors, basically.
Oh, so nothing official.
There's an official. I mean, there's certainly nothing official from whoever the publisher is. Okay. Again, I don't play this game, so my information is very limited regarding the game.
Okay, let's get back.
I have no idea.
More comments. Swolzy says the first game is a hands-on cinematic marvel. It feels like you're just acting the role of a character in a movie. I have heard that kind of praise. CD Sign 69 says, Alan, you have such an imagination of not ever happening. Amanda Wiki says, The Last of Us video game is a fun redemption story where Joel works to save his adopted daughter where he failed to save his real daughter. If that's what this story is, then I'm sold. I'm in. So I just think that the events that occur in Last of Us 2, I'm going to guess that they ignore it. And everyone is saying, Red Terror 1978. A lot of other people are saying in the chat, respect my poll, Alan. I
respect your poll.
At Film Threat, your votes matter. And Alan will definitely be talking to us about Velma. Alan Horkin says, Velma sounds awful, but I appreciate Alan watching it so we don't have to. He's going to watch every episode, apparently. So that's great. And Ayav Nodick. Oh, my God, you got me again. Like, I'm thinking it looks like a Swedish name. I have no dick says, nah, you guys are wrong. When you're in a post-apocalypse world trying to survive, your pronouns are going to be way, way important. I'm going to guess no on that. And Anonymous Crow says, progressives, filmmakers, and themes are fine as long as the people are capable and the themes are well handled and not preachy, forced, shoehorned, etc. Yeah, we were talking about on the Nerdrotic Nooner how, like, if you go back and watch old episodes of The Twilight Zone, all of them had some kind of message.
Well, even Alfred Hitchcock,
right?
The old teledramas that were on CBS, Rod Serling wrote a hell of a lot of those, and I would say they were definitely liberal and progressive ideas, but they were engaging, exciting stories that were being told.
But it wasn't lecturing. It was like, here's the lesson, right? And then
they're parables, essentially.
Right. You choose what to get out of that, right? You choose, like, you don't feel like you're being made to be a bad person because you have a certain opinion, which I think is, or being lectured to, like, this is the one and only way to think about a topic. It's like, well, here's the lesson. Do with that information what you will. So so I didn't feel at any point in the show that we were being lectured to, or
yet.
Alan Horkin says
lectured to yet.
He says take a mulligan, Chris. Yeah, I gotta take a mulligan. I just gonna have to take a mulligan. So there you go. But oh wait, Alan, did you and a comment from Kevin Rubio here. The show was very true to the game, recreating some scenes frame for frame and expanding in other areas with characters in the world. Opening scene was an original new addition. But I think you have to, when you're doing an adaptation, you don't want it to be exact, right? I mean, there has to be some surprise. There's going to be some, as long as you're sticking, I think, to the core of the characters and the sort of basics of the story. Movies are different from video games. So, I mean, it's not a controversial thing to say. And I think that the filmmakers do have a right to kind of play with it a little bit, add maybe some different nuance, maybe include some new ideas, but not change it super dramatically. And thank you for that, Kevin. See, now this is making me want to play the original game. Shauna Martin says the developer of Naughty Dog is one part of the show, so I'm hoping for the friends that watch the show, it will stay true to the original story, or at least of the original story for the first game, that is. So.
Yeah, I mean, I am curious, why is this game so amazing? I mean, from what I'm reading about it, it's simply kind of a wandering game. There's some you got to improvise weapons. I feel like a lot of what people like is the interaction between Joel and Ellie, and so is it that Telltale kind of thing where you make certain choices and certain things happen? But I'm failing to getting an idea of why this game is so great.
Alan, just play the damn game. Says
I don't have a PlayStation. Send me a PlayStation 5 and I will play the game. I promise. Whoever wants to send me that PlayStation 5, I will play the game.
Yeah. But I mean, Andrew Montpetit says, I mean, games nowadays are basically movies. So yeah. So look, I'm optimistic. I'm mostly a positive person. So I'm going to stick with it, and I will be watching on Sunday, and Alan's going to play the game.
And when someone sends me a PS5, I will play the game.
You can get PS5s now. They're in stores.
Yeah, but you have to have this thing called money.
Oh, that's right.
And then you have to give it to them in order to get the game. Yeah.
Kevin Rubio, to answer Alan's question, this game, like Uncharted, was one of the first to have an actual cinematic story and feel while playing it. Yeah, I do like when a game, what it kind of will do is it kind of hides, like it doesn't feel like the game stops. So you're having a lot of fun, right? And then the game stops because you need story. And then the story, sometimes these cinematics go on way too long, where I'm just like, I'm just going to blow past this. Do I really need this information? But if you can weave that story into gameplay, that to me is the best, because it feels like you are, again, like you're playing a movie. And Andrew Montpetit says, Alan, just use some of that Disney bucks and get a PS5 already.
Yeah, unfortunately, Disney has conditions on where I can spend that money.
Well, Alan, you gotta, you're gonna have to.
I don't know. I'm grasping onto that Disney money as long as I can.
Clayton Homer
it's
said,
lucrative. I have to tell you, it's lucrative.
Clayton Homer says it's amazing because his loss of daughter at the start that hardens him. He views Ellie as cargo, then forms a father-daughter bond, and at the end, he chooses to save her instead of the world. So, yeah, it's wow, spoilers.
Ruin the entire series.
That's
I mean,
the
I assume that. I assume the heart of this series is this adventure that Joel and Ellie go on. And so, yeah, we'll see where it goes from there.
I just hope it doesn't. It's not exactly. That's a huge spoiler, but I feel like they set all that up in the first
Yeah.
episode. You kind of see where it's going. I feel like the filmmakers have an opportunity to make some slight changes, but I think the relationship from between Joel and Ellie will be the thing that carries the show. A lot of the events may end up being different, but that I think will work. And oh wait, Wizard Shack has a suggestion. Alan, you're in California. Go loot that PS5 like everyone else.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. And Murdoch 86 has a thing. He says or Murdoch 86 says I teared up a few times in the first game. The only game, there's a couple games where I've actually gotten emotional. Have you ever gotten emotional playing a video game, Alan?
No, I don't play those games.
I got emotional. This is in the 90s. I played Earthbound on Super NES. And I think it's like 30 to 40 hours. It's an RPG. And the music is great. And the story is really interesting. And it's funny and weird. It's the only one of those types of games I ever actually really played. And I got kind of choked up at the end, mainly because of the music. No one does music better than, at least in that era, the 90s, no one did music better than Nintendo. No one did music better than Nintendo. Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, Earthbound, legendary. Yeah, that's one I would thank you, Holy Hand Grenades, for that. It's good. And then also I got emotional at the end of the first BioShock. Does anyone I'm sure you have played BioShock. I really like
Did I get to the end? No.
But the just the production design and the sort of weirdness of it, and I love BioShock. The music, the tone is sort of like it's got that sort of 1920s futurism, like Metropolis, right? It sort of has that vibe and feel. So, and Ryan Landa says, Alan, you're missing out on a lot of great stories and games.
Yeah.
And I love the BioShock trilogy, says Dom T, who's a member. MK Solid 82 says, thoughts on Lisa Marie, another loss for Americana. Well, that's a real gear switcher there. But Alan, we saw her. We saw Lisa Marie.
You saw her. I wasn't there. I didn't get there.
Okay. Yeah. So I went to a party celebrating the movie Elvis. Austin Butler was there. Boz Lerman.
It was actually Elvis's birthday. That was
Elvis's birthday. It was January 8th, Sunday, January 8th. Lisa Marie Presley was there. She made an appearance. They had a giant birthday cake for Elvis. It was at the Formosa, which is a classic Hollywood bar. If you're ever in Los Angeles, definitely go to the Formosa. Really fun bar restaurant. Yeah, it's tragic. It's tragic. Gotta remember when Elvis died. When Elvis died, it was the summer of 1977 when Star Wars came out. And Star Wars kind of changed everything when it came out May 25th, 1977. And then at the end of the summer, in late August, Elvis passed away. So that was a memorable summer for good reasons and bad. And look, and thank you for that, MK Solid 82. Amanda Wiki says, Chris, give Alan a raise for a PS5.
Yeah, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris.
If you can find a PS5. Let's see. Borg Porg for 5 says, hey, Chris, I just bought my tickets to Chrissy Mayer's show in Pasadena next month on the 23rd. I'm bringing my dad and a few famous friends. Can't wait. Well, I'll be there because if it's in Pasadena, is it in Pasadena? That would be at the Ice House. Alan, can you look that up? Chrissy Mayer, just look up her schedule because I'll get tickets to that. Because I think she start in Pasadena and then does she go to like San Diego? Because I know
I
she's in
think
San
I
Diego.
think she was looking for a date while she was out here, and talked about trying to book something in LA, and this might be what she was able to book.
Cool. Well, Porg, post some more information there.
Yeah,
if you would.
Yeah, let's see.
And thank you for your super chat and comment there. Alan, do I have to play the music?
You know, these are not things that are easy to come by.
Alan, it is Chrissy Mayer. The 23rd. Is she playing is she doing her stand-up comedy in Pasadena?
She is
Alan?
headlining in Pasadena.
Where?
Yeah, good question. Hold on.
Alan, where? Alan.
Oh, the Sunset Lodge.
Sunset what?
Sunset Lodge on Fair Oaks.
Oh,
Sunset
nice.
Lodge.
Hey, can you? This is a weird thing to ask. Can you just send me a link to that?
Yeah.
Can you text me or email me?
I'll private chat it here.
Well, not in the private chat, because then I have to. Did you put it in the private chat?
I did now.
All right. It's in the private chat.
In the private
chat.
All
right, fine. Fine, Alan.
Yeah, it's yeah, she'll be headlining the Elks Lodge in Pasadena.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
All right. I know vaguely where that is.
Yeah, I don't think you're near it. It's like northeast of the Rose Bowl.
I know where it is.
All right.
I know where it is. It's North Fair Oaks. So
yes.
There you go. All right.
Yeah, which is a huge distinction in LA.
Yeah, exactly.
You can get lost if you have the wrong north or south.
For sure. Back to your comments and questions here, the Moose Lodge. Nosferatu, the Vampire. Metal Gear Solid 2 was a very controversial game at the time for baiting us with Snake and switching it to Raiden, but the ending is the most profound moment in gaming history, along with Deus Ex. I would have thought Metroid. Remember the end of Super Metroid? Or was it Metroid or Super Metroid? I forget which one.
Yeah,
where the reveal is, it was a woman the whole time. You didn't know what you were playing. Just someone
like Black Widow and Taskmaster.
Yeah. I mean, I really don't care. Whatever. I thought I just remember that being it was Metroid, says Fur to the Future. Thank you for that. So I guess Chrissy is playing all over. I'll be at least at one of those shows, and I may even go to San Diego. I may even venture to San Diego. But let's give a bottom line on The Last of Us. I'm going to continue watching it. Alan, will you? Because
yeah, I mean, I'll go week by week. I mean, literally, I think I have to because of this. But the first episode did its job. It got me to the second episode.
Well, Toxic Waltz NA asks a very good question. How do all of these nerds find the time to be playing video games all day?
Absolutely.
Well, I think if you're streaming it, then you're kind of working and making money at the same time. I prefer, if I game, it's usually in the evening and all my work is done and I've got nothing to do. So, but the problem is that because I like to go to movies, I probably go to movies 3-4 nights a week. I go see a movie, see whatever's in theaters. I'll see it again if I like it. Then I'll go to some indie movie or a screening. So I am seeing probably in a theater 4 movies or more a week. And then I'll watch stuff also on video as well, on my television.
When I stream games, Shelby has showed up, and Shelby AC and
really?
Grim, yeah.
Is that on your Twitch?
I'm playing Sims at times and Marvel's Avengers.
Wait, so you have a YouTube channel where you play games?
Yeah, basically.
Oh my God, Alan.
Yeah, and believe me, I realize I'm playing the lamest games in the world, but I'm playing it.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Andrew Montpetit points out, Alan, you could write off getting a PS5 and the time you take to play Last of Us 1.
Oh, that's true. But the thing is, you still need money to get that PS5.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Ninja Kick the Damn Rabbit says, remember when King Arthur almost had the cup that held Christ's blood, but got arrested? Yeah.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Yeah. Link, Alan. We need the link.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and Pyrene. See, I used to, you know what? I was an editor of a video game magazine back in the 90s. I did a magazine called Video Games, and it was originally called Video Games and Computer Entertainment. Then when I took over, it was just shortened to Video Games. Then we spun off another magazine called Computer Player. Then there was another another magazine that was created under the same banner called Tips and Tricks magazine. So I also played Pyrene Dream, Dune, The Battle for Arrakis on the Sega Genesis, which is one of those strategy games where you sort of build resources and you're mining spice and then building fortresses. And not only that, okay, I'm going to go down the geek rabbit hole even further and tell you I played that game on the Sega Nomad because it was kind of built for that. The Sega Nomad was a handheld game system put out by Sega where you could play Sega Genesis cartridges on this handheld system. It was rare, and I love it. And Dune 2000 on the PC. No, it's true, Brock Samsonite. Back in the day, I was I did Film Threat Magazine, but Film Threat Magazine didn't make a lot of money. So I worked on all these other magazines as editor. It was a weird, yeah. Holy hand grenades.
You did what you had to do. Yeah.
Crazy how many things Chris has been involved in. Well, hell yeah. No, it's weird. Like I think back, it's like I've kind of had like 3 careers. My first career was I started Film Threat Magazine and then built that into 2 magazines, a video distribution company, and then I edited a bunch of other magazines because I would just get hired to do them. Then my sort of like in the late 90s, my second career, so that lasted about 15 years. Then my second career was being on television. Started in the late 90s with the X Show, other TV shows. I did a show called Festival Path. You can look me up on IMDb. Then I did, of course, Attack of the Show. In 2005, I joined G4 TV for that. And now I kind of feel like I'm in the third phase of my career, which is making movies. So we have Attack of the Doc coming out in April. We haven't done the formal announcement yet, but just because you watch the live stream, I'm going to leak that Attack of the Doc is coming out in April. So
is that when a certain film festival happens, or?
No, that's not. Yeah. It's not going to debut at a film festival. I'm merely releasing it.
Okay.
So Portland 182 says, Alan, Last of Us came out on PS3. You should be able to get a PS3 and the game for cheap.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm accountable to other people to not buy a game system to play one game. I'll take
Alan, you could a used PS3. How much is a used PS3?
Look that up. How much is that?
Used PS3 right now.
Quick, Chris. Where's that?
You can get it. Video? Oh my God.
Where's that damn video?
Alan, 10 seconds.
Cut the blue wire. No.
Alan, I just found. Okay, I got to zoom in on this.
Plus, I have to buy the game to go with it.
Well, the game is used PlayStation games. You can get those for $5, especially PS3. Look. Okay,
but then I have to be able to stream it. That's the important thing.
You could stream it.
I know. Well, does a PS3 have an HDMI output?
No. Look. I don't know if a PS3. I don't remember if the PS3 has. All right, here I found it.
I mean, my 360 barely has a.
And guess how much it is?
Yeah, but is there an HDMI output?
I can't believe the price of it. It's $69.99 for a used PS3. 80 gigabytes.
Oh, 80 gigabytes. Wow.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, I mean, just get it. Just do that. In any case, I am just bringing it back, Alan. At some point, you need to play it.
Yeah.
You can even get a used PS4. Because a lot of the PS5 games you can play on PS4. All right, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
I mean, honestly, I want to play Marvel's Avengers on PS5 if I can.
Why?
Because it comes with Spider-Man.
Wait, there's no Spider-Man in the Xbox version?
Yeah, there's no Spider-Man on the Xbox.
Oh,
only the PlayStation has Spider-Man.
That is weird. Oh, that's interesting. Sony kept Spider-Man for themselves. I like that. That's great.
Yeah, it's ruthless. Almost tanked the game.
All right. Well, Alan, bottom line is, I think not only am I interested in watching the show, I'm also interested in playing The Last of Us. So I subscribe to, what is it, PlayStation Premium Plus or whatever it is, where you can download a couple games a month. I think it's totally worth it. You have access to old game library, and and I know The Last of Us is on there. So I am going to check out the video game. I am going to check it out. So
yeah.
Sean Who says, Alan, hold out for the PS5. Well, all I can say is, Alan, keep holding. Keep holding. But we're going to switch gears here. And Alan and I are going to talk about, I mean, I'm sure that The Last of Us is still going to come up. But Alan and I are going to talk about our experience at the Critics' Choice Awards.
Yeah. Should we preface this by saying we're a little bit biased toward the Critics' Choice Association?
Well, no, I mean, look, it's here's Alan and I at the actual show.
Yeah.
Where Alan is why is Alan giving a thumbs up?
Because Alan likes everything.
He does. But Alan and I attended the award show. It's like every award show now. Chelsea Handler was the host. And of course, some of her jokes were cringe inducing. I mean, come on, Alan, that opening monologue.
Yeah. Again, hell of a lot better than the Golden Globes.
Yeah.
We laughed. We laughed at certain points.
I do think it was better than the Golden Globes. Absolutely. But the Critics' Choice, just so people are aware, it's an organization of 450 people, very different types of critics across all, some covering television and whatnot. And this organization does several award shows, including, I just need to let the people from Slamdance know the start time is 2:30. It's at 2:30. So someone may be in the background. You don't need to be here till 2:30. We still have more show to go. So come back at 2:30. You're a little early. So there you go. All right. So in any case, that was really weird. We had someone in the that looked very confused. Very confused. So in any case, this organization of 450 people, they do the Critics' Choice Awards, which is sort of a general award show. They do an award show called the Super Awards. Apparently there's a lot of money in award shows.
Apparently.
And I am merely a member. I am a voting member. So, that gets Alan and I. I got Alan in the organization. And I'm still waiting for Alan to thank me for that.
I thanked you, but if you need it publicly, if your ego...
Public thank you.
It's so fragile. Thank Chris Gore. Thank you for getting me into the Critics' Choice Association.
Alan,
it's been a lifelong dream, and you helped me fulfill it.
Anything for my friend, Alan. Anyways, no, it's just fun to know someone there. Because whenever Alan and I go to events, we end up hanging out together. I don't necessarily sit directly next to Alan. Depends on how large the theater is. The theater is very large. I will sit one seat over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How many times have you accidentally sat next to me?
Yes, I think I have done that.
Yeah. Well, you definitely did at RRR.
Yeah. I did at RRR. That was super funny. I just literally went in the, I'm sitting next to Alan. I didn't even know. But no, look, Alan and I are voting members, and it's an award show like all these award shows. What's different about the Critics' Choice Awards is that it's very influential when it comes to the Oscar nominations. Mm-hmm. That's why it's considered, even though the ratings are actually down this year. I'm not surprised. Ratings for all award shows are down. It was a 0.9 that represents 900,000 people watch the Critics' Choice Awards. That's not the important part. The important part is that the nominees and the winners are generally the same for the Oscars, and has been very consistent without Brendan Fraser won for The Whale, Cate Blanchett won for Tar. Though both of them are locks to be nominated, and they will both probably win at the Oscars. So if you want, like,
we could throw Ke Kwan into that mix as well.
Ke Kwan as well. So, but they do these things where some of the awards are like for comedy, drama. So they do a little bit of like what the Globes does. I actually think the Critics' Choice does a better job. However you feel about award shows, and yes, it's like, you can't watch that. It's impossible to not watch it and go, wow, some of those jokes from Chelsea Handler were cringe. And then some of the speeches were also really cringe. And some of the best speeches, that Brendan Fraser speech was great.
I will say one speech, one of the winners' speeches was cringe. One of the predetermined winners was cringe. For the most part, the winners were just thankful to have won their award, and they just need to let you know that they were thankful, and that's what you want out of these awards. You don't need that lecture.
But now here's the interesting thing about the awards. It takes place at the Fairmont Hotel on the west side of Los Angeles. Alan and I were able to attend and kind of mix in with just a lot of the nominees, which was really fun to like chat with them like one-to-one as just people. So that was super fun to do. Lots of drinks. Let me just say that they really ply you with drinks, but there are a limited number of members that can actually sit where the awards event actually takes place. So Alan and I were not in the main room. We were effectively at what I would call the kids table at the Critics' Choice Awards. So like, if any of you, and I'll say this, just as someone who has sat at the kids table, like for Thanksgiving, when at Thanksgiving dinner, I prefer to sit at the kids' table.
Yeah, because you're not dealing with the parents' shit.
You're not dealing with the annoying adults there that want to talk about serious stuff. Let's talk about video games and movies and whatnot. You can always talk about that with the kids. But yeah, so we were in the kids' table, which basically they put everyone in a lounge. But not everyone, but like all the critics that couldn't get in the main room. They had like a certain number of critics that were able to be in there. But Alan and I were just in a room with a bunch of critics watching the show on television. But here's a little taste of what it was like to be at the awards. Here we are, Alan Ng and I are at the Critics' Choice Awards. This is the cocktails. We're pre-gaming before the big event. I don't even know if you can hear me. I
can't hear a thing.
The room is nuts right now. It's crazy. There's people everywhere. It's nuts. But Alan and I were. You're seeing me. Alan isn't drunk yet.
Yeah, it's dry January. I picked the wrong month. This was the wrong month to quit drinking.
Well, we're gonna keep checking in. And funny thing is, okay, so we just learned that a lot of celebrities aren't here because they all got COVID at the Golden Globes.
Yeah, so of course the Golden Globes.
Of course. All right, we're just doing this as a memory. It's sort of a check on where we'll be later. So
yeah, our sobriety levels.
Well, let's see how bad you are on Diet Coke. All right. Okay, so that was that was
3 drinks in, by the way.
3 or so, yeah. And then we actually went to this venue, this lounge. What was the name of that lounge?
I have no idea.
All right, here's us watching the show.
Yeah.
RRR winning, or no, RRR nominated. I think it wins.
Choice is RRR.
Yeah! Yes! Yes! Woo!
Oh, another word. Still working on it.
Look! All right, so you get the idea. You get the idea of the atmosphere at the event. There's some other videos. I'll share some of the other videos from the evening because the evening got interesting. Here we go. Here's Alan making a speech. Wait, what'd you say?
2 for 2, Dr. Jones.
Okay. Wait. Say that again.
2 for 2, Dr. Jones. 2 for 2.
I'm gonna try real hard to not cry tonight. Ever since our movie came out, everyone has shown me so much kindness that
They
it's
took my
hard
food
not to
away.
get
Oh, no, you
emotional.
took my food.
Oh my God, I'm so nervous. This is so unexpected. You know,
Here we go. Yes, not unexpected.
Yeah.
right,
All I'm
well-
saying is most of my choices won. At that point in the show, I was 2 for 2.
All right, well, let's see how it goes. I've got like 3 or 4 more short videos here to show. So what else happened?
I know.
where's Weird?
Come on!
What was that? Ah,
What are you doing?
I don't know what was happening there.
That?
What was? Look, I should have actually had a camera person helping out. Okay, I don't know what's going on here, but
Here we go, best director.
Best director.
best director.
Okay, best director goes to Daniel Kwan.
Yes!
The Daniels one.
I'm just saying everything everywhere all at once.
That's right, baby. Sorry, Damien Chazelle didn't make it.
So okay, so that's just Alan and I kind of reacting to a lot of the, what was happening.
By the way,
Let's get to the end of the show. What's that?
by the way, just for the commenters out there, that's my kid next to me. So that's my
All
dog.
right. Well, there you go. Okay, so here's another.
All right, everybody, we're at the Critics' Choice Award, just ended. Of course, Everything Everywhere All at Once won, like I had predicted, like I'd been telling everybody. But no, they want to say the Fableman, someone said Babylon. Who says that? RR, no, it's Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm very happy for this big win. And hey, Chris, what do you think? Chris, what do you think?
That was the end of the night. That was the end of the night. It did not. And I think I have one more video, but I don't know what this is. Okay, what's this?
I'm going home.
It sounds great. It's great, Alan.
Yeah, going home.
Awesome. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Remember, I'm the sober one.
Okay, well, that was
Yeah, you
That
really
was-
wanted videos. That
no.
way.
Yeah, I probably should. No, look, my voice was like really scratchy, so that just kind of happens. All right, let's go to the comments. Alan, bring up some comments.
Let's see. Giant Starsome.
Alan, I believe in you.
Yeah, okay, here, let me get the ones I starred. Yes, Bob Odenkirk winning was so deserved.
See, there's some good came out of this award show. I don't argue the choices. I thought the list of nominees was, was yeah. Chris, you were having fun, says Corky's chilling. Yeah, for sure.
Hey, I'm starring some comments. Why don't you go through what's already there?
Okay, cool. Yes, we have no producer today. It's Alan and Chris Unleashed. That's what this is. Brado Jacko for 2. How did you discover cheats at Tips and Tricks? I didn't. It was a guy named Chris Bieniek who was brilliant. And how did we discover cheats? Well, 1, there were people on staff that were very good at finding them, and 2, the companies just gave them to us, and then we would publish them. It was like a marketing thing, right? That they would put these cheat codes in, the game would come out, they'd wait a couple months or a couple weeks, couple months, and then they would release more and more cheat codes as a way to get people to revisit the game or as a way to promote the game. So, yeah. And Andrew Montpetit says, Alan getting belligerent. I didn't think you were. Yeah, you were not belligerent. I just thought you were being goofy.
Yeah.
And Red Terror 1978 says, that was Chris post RRRgasm. And then J828 says, Dr. Jones and short round cosplay for Chris and Alan. Should we do it?
Yeah. I have the easier costume.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I could do like Harrison Ford's hair. I could get that haircut, but I just don't have the build. Andrew Montpetit, dang, he's out. Turo, that was so wrong, Alan. Davina Duckworth, overstimulated. And then someone asks, is that Alan's daughter? She has the dad, you're so embarrassing face on.
Yeah, that's a common expression on her face.
That's pretty much her Frozen expression.
Yeah. But we did do the if we wanted to meet someone, we would play each other's wingman.
Right.
Where if I wanted to meet someone, she would go up, or she wanted to meet someone, then I would go up and say, hey, my kid really wants to meet you. And
right. Right. Bill S. Preston Esquire says, Alan, no tux, no tie.
Yeah. Because we weren't in the main ballroom, they downgraded us to cocktail attire.
Cocktail attire. I still wore a tuxedo.
I also had a tux nightmare that morning. I had to alter what I was wearing that day.
So what happened with your tuxedo?
My tuxedo, it fell on the ground and was covered in dog hair, and then my tie went missing, and then I found out I didn't have a good shirt to go with the tux.
Okay,
so it was bad planning.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
This is weird to say. I actually enjoy dressing up. I have some blazers, some casual blazers, sort of my upscale wear. And I generally always keep a blazer in my car. Just in case I'm going somewhere, I'll have it's like my go kit. Like, okay, I need stuff. Boom. Even have like a shaver and okay, do I need to go somewhere? Yes. Put on a jacket and I'm ready to go somewhere. Some places you go, it's just, I don't know. I feel like people take you more seriously when you're wearing a blazer. What do you think, Alan?
Yeah, I wasn't listening to what you were saying.
So I feel like it's like
I'm starting comments.
Okay, I feel like though it's like I feel like James Bond when I'm wearing a tux, which is a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
But Alan, you look like you were going to court. Let's get some more comments.
Yeah, the thing about a suit is it's so restricting, and I hate being in suits. And I like the feeling of movement and freedom in the clothes I wear.
We already got to that comment. Anonymous, glad to hear. Bob won. Better Call Saul was an awesome series, and he got up and gave a great speech. Did you see Bob Odenkirk's speech? He gave a great speech. He appreciated people, and he got off. No lecture, no sort of you people in Hollywood are bad. And I feel like and there were more of those speeches than the lectury ones. So, but always, I would, while Alan and I were watching the show, we were sitting next to each other, and we kind of look at each other like, oof, and look, Alan and I are not responsible for, the show. It's a separate production. All we do is vote on the winners. And I do have to say that I think that this organization does pick interesting movies and more mainstream movies. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you look, can you bring up Film Thread so we can go through some of the winners? Wasn't there a story in the news section? Hang on, let me get to some more of your comments. And we have in 15 minutes, this is your warning, 15 minutes, we have a round table of filmmakers from Slamdance. They're going to be joining us from Park City, Utah. I mean, if they're not in Park City already, they're en route, so to speak. And we will be talking to 4 filmmakers that have movies premiering at Slamdance. And let me just say this. I don't know anything about these movies, but I'm going to let the filmmakers speak on their behalf. A couple more comments here. Bethel Games says award shows are always just one giant circle jerk.
Yeah,
they're fun.
If you enjoy those things, they're great.
Jeremy Irizarry says Chris the Hookup Gore. I don't know what you're implying. But
no, I think it was you getting me into the Critics' Choice.
I try to do that. I've tried to get a bunch of our film. There's actually, I think, 4 people from Film Threat that are part of Critics' Choice. Alex Savalov, Alan, myself, and Matt Pasentino. And Alex and Matt write for us on occasion. Alex more often. But you're always a part of Film Threat. It's like being an Avenger, you know? It's like being an Avenger. Once you're in the Avengers, you're just in the Avengers. All right. So there you go. Why don't you scroll through some of this, Alan, and show us. So who were the big winners in category? Okay.
Yeah.
Best Picture.
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Okay. What is this? It looks like a click and paste of just a press release. Best Actor was The Whale, Brendan Fraser.
It is, but I went through and put links in there to show what films we reviewed.
Do we not have a review of The Whale?
We do have a review of The Whale. I didn't link that one up.
Well, you gotta, dude.
Yeah.
We gotta get
our reviewer from India actually reviewed The Whale.
Oh, that's interesting. Best Actress, Cate Blanchett for Tar. Best Supporting Actor, Kihei Kwan for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Best Supporting Actress, Angela Bassett for Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Best Young Actor. I like this award. They give recognition to a young actor who just gave a standout performance. Best Acting Ensemble, Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery. I disagree with that. I would have gone with Everything Everywhere All at Once. Best Director, Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert for EEAAO. Also, Best Original Screenplay, same thing, Everything Everywhere All at Once. I don't agree with that. I think RRR should have been Best Director. Best Adapted Screenplay, Sarah Polley for Women Talking. See, what did I say about this movie? That movie, Women Talking, I predicted it was going to fail, but it was going to do great on awards. Great on awards. Yeah, happy for Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
So, and we have a super chat here from John Thomas for 2013 Last of Us released, 2012 book Extinction Point released. Spores from space infect virtually everyone. Some are controlled, most die, converted to alien plants. Some plants make new animals and semi-sentient predators. That's kind of similar to Day of the Triffids. Is anyone familiar with Day of the Triffids? Look up Day of the Triffids. But yeah, I mean, apocalyptic books and whatnot have been around a long time. So I
Wasn't
don't know.
there a Natalie Portman movie like that recently?
Well, I will say that Last of Us was released in 2013. I guarantee they worked on that game for years. So I don't know if there's a correlation. I think there are ideas in the zeitgeist, and that kind of thing just happens. Bredo Jacko for 2. What's the coolest cheap TNT found without company help? What's TNT?
Oh, Tips and Tricks.
Oh, Tips and Tricks without company help. Oh,
I mean, YouTube would be the best one.
YouTube would probably be. Look, this was in the 90s. I don't remember any of the cheat codes. But there were certain things. This one editor there, his name was Chris Bienik, and he was like a cheat code savant, where he could take a game and just kind of like play with stuff. And normally you'd find cheat codes would be on menu screens. This was when we're talking the 90s. So we're looking at Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and we sort of at least my tenure on the magazine went through when the Sega Saturn launched and the 3DO. And so, but he was really good at finding cheats. I always loved it. Like, he was very proud of himself when he found, I found a code. I didn't need help. But you would have to ask Chris Bienik. I believe he's still active in the industry as well. But after that, I was no longer involved in the video game industry. Another super chat here from Conspiracy Cinema for $9.99 says, just a friendly old CIA operative dropping the bit, missed on Alan's last Disney shill payment. He's worth every penny.
Absolutely.
We let him hold Walt Disney's frozen head as an executive shill member. I love Alan. He's good.
I'm not a shill. Of course not.
Yeah. No, look, here's the thing. If Alan likes something and it's Disney, it's because he genuinely likes it. That's it. So, yeah. David Jacobs says, nah, Triffids with Plants versus Zombies. If the plants are zombies and the humans are plants. Yeah, in a way. Remember Plants versus Zombies? I actually really
Oh, I
loved
played that.
I played that to death.
Oh man.
So
Well, I played the original game as well as the EA kind of garden warfare game.
Right.
I played that for a very long time.
Davina Duckworth says, hug your Triffid today. And John, long last name, says, Day of the Triffids is one of the best books ever written. All the zombie movies are based off of it. Oh, that's interesting. I never read the book, but I saw I feel like the movies feels a bit dated, but still, I remember it scared me as a kid. I seriously, I learned to read going through the newspaper, just looking for monster movies and science fiction movies. That's what I did. John Thomas for 2 says Chris Gore was the template for Fire Blaster. Lol. I'll take it. I'll take it. A lot of people think my hair has something to do with I could play Quicksilver as Quicksilver was drawn in the comic books. Pyrene Dream says, stay with me. Brandon Fraser should do the Rodney Dangerfield biopic film. Just put them side by side and get what I'm saying. It would be awesome. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. It's really interesting. Why don't we go through the rest of the winners here as we get our Slamdance Filmmakers? They're so anxious. They're showing up way early. You ever have that person? You say, I'm having a party, get there at 5, and they're there at 4. And you're like, I'm still setting up for the party. What are you doing? What are you doing? But I appreciate the enthusiasm. Let's go through and let's look at the rest.
All right, so Jeff Bridges won the Lifetime Achievement Award,
which was great. There were like clips from his career, including like early, he did a lot of movies. Yeah. Best cinematography. Can you scroll down?
Yeah.
Was Top Gun Maverick, Claudio Miranda. For Top Gun Maverick. That is going to be, so you see that, like, I feel like the Critics' Choice is a little bit more, little delving into mainstream and whatnot. Best production design, Babylon. Best editing, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Best costume design, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Best hair and makeup, Elvis. Best visual effects, Avatar, The Way of Water. Best comedy, Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery. Best animated feature, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. I think these are good choices. I don't know about best comedy for Glass Onion. The more
it wasn't my pick. That was
I tried to watch that movie a second time, and it did not hold up. Finishing it off here.
Yes, Rajamouli.
Best foreign language film was RRR. Best song RRR, and best score was Tar. So there you go. And you're logged in as Alan Ing.
Yes. As I should be.
Yeah. Let's go to a few more chat questions and comments here. Elliot Cecil for $4.99 says, for once, the guy isn't stupid in the adaptation. So there you go. There you are. And the adaptation, I assume you're saying adaptation for The Last of Us.
Yeah,
The Last of Us is going to be...
Having listened to Craig Mazin for over a year, the guy gets it. The guy, he understands what it means to adapt something and the importance there is to the audience. Whether he succeeds or not is a question, but you can't say he's clueless to it. Yeah.
Well, no, that's good to hear. I just I just wonder, are they going to make the major change that they made, right? Like, are they going to make that are they going to effectively make that it's a spoiler for the second game.
So the question is that, let's say The Last of Us, he nails it all the way to the end. First season represents the first game, and it's a huge success, draws a lot of numbers for HBO. The question is if HBO greenlights the second game, what are we going to get? And are they aware to the fact that people hated the second game and understand why they hated the second game? And that's ultimately the question. But that'll be answered if the first series is a huge success.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen any ratings. Could you look up some ratings, Alan?
Yeah.
Alan? How just okay, so we're looking for rating. Alan, you've got to find the ratings for The Last of Us.
Yeah,
Has HBO Max released the ratings for The Last of Us yet? 10 seconds, Alan. 10 seconds.
The Last of Us scares up. Here.
Wait. Alan, have you found it? Alan, have you found the rating? Alan! 5 seconds, Alan. 5 seconds. All right. So what did the
according to Entertainment Weekly,
yes,
The Last of Us scares up, second largest HBO debut in over a decade. Trails only House of the Dragon and Boardwalk Empire for a series debut.
Well, that's pretty huge. That's pretty huge. Is there a number that they put a number on it, or it's just so they reported themselves that they had great ratings, is what you're saying?
Yeah, let's see. 4.7 million viewers.
All right.
Across linear television and HBO Max streaming.
All right. Well, that's good to hear. All right. So, I mean, are they going to do that thing? Do they wait till the end of the season to announce second season? I don't know, but I feel like more than any streaming service, I think HBO Max might be my favorite along with Netflix. If you've got those two, you've got there's other ones you can kind of like you can sign up for them for like a month just to see what you want to see. So
yeah, but it's interesting because it's commonly known that the second game is a dud. So even if it is a success, do you think HBO would have the guts to say no? This is it. First game is the first game.
Cool. All right. Well, look, let's switch gears, Alan, and let's talk about. Let's switch gears, Alan, and let's talk about the Slamdance Film Festival. The Slamdance Film Festival was founded by a group of filmmakers that includes Peter Broderick, that includes Dan Mervish. We're all filmmakers in the 90s that submitted their movies to Sundance, and they were summarily rejected. And how did the filmmakers at Slamdance in the 90s respond? They decided to create their own film festival and call it Slamdance. And that's how it was born. It was born out of rejection from Sundance. And Slamdance has legitimately established itself as one of the film festivals that is absolutely one that you have to pay attention to when it comes to movies. In my opinion, I think Slamdance has some of the better programming from the standpoint that it is more honest. It includes filmmakers that are at a lower budget level. We're talking about movies made for less than $100,000. Some really remarkable work on the level of shorts, documentaries, and features. It is technically more difficult to get into the Slamdance Film Festival than it is to get into Sundance. So if you're a filmmaker that gets into Slamdance, count yourself incredibly lucky. So Alan, are you ready today to take a walk down the let's talk Slamdance? Wait, this video loop is not. Let me try that again. You ready? I'm going to do that again.
What just happened?
It's a clean. Were you pushing a button?
I wasn't touching anything.
All right, here we go. Wait, I want to do a clean one where we don't have the banner on it. All right, you ready?
Okay.
All right. So let's talk to filmmakers from the Slamdance Film Festival. We have a whole group of filmmakers to talk to. We're going to be doing something of a round table here. I am going to butcher some of their names when it comes to pronunciation, but I'm ecstatic that they're joining us today. Let's talk to the director, writer, and cinematographer, Marek. Marek, can you help me pronounce your name?
Marek Kozakiewicz.
Marek what?
Kozakiewicz.
Kozakiewicz. Okay.
Perfect.
Well,
Good pronunciation.
all right. Well, I'm part Polish, so I'm doing my best. Tell us about your documentary.
Yeah, so the documentary I'm coming to Slamdance with is called Silent Love, and it is a film about building a new unconventional family in a very conservative, small Polish village. It starts with death, and then gradually, as it evolves, it goes towards life. We start with the siblings, Agnieszka, who is 35, and Milos, who is 14, and they have to deal with the death of their mother and arrange their lives in a new way. And then during the story, a third person enters the family, and this is Agnieszka's long-term partner, Maya, and they live in a love relationship that they keep secret. And the three of them try to become and build a new family.
Okay. And how long did you work on this documentary?
5 years.
Yeah, it's when you're doing a doc like that, it's just like, yes, I know the struggle. We're gonna turn this into a round table, like a panel. Let's bring on Alex Rappoport. Alex is here, and Alex, tell us about your film.
Great to be here. My film is called With Peter Bradley, and it's a portrait piece of a now 82-year-old Black abstract painter who lives about 6 minutes away from me in Saugerties, New York. And I met Peter 3 years ago, and in my spare time, when I wasn't working as a cinematographer, I started going over and filming Peter doing his work. And at that point, Peter seemed to be all but forgotten by the art world or the art market for decades. But when he was younger, up until his mid 30s in New York, he really achieved amazing success, particularly for a Black artist at that time. And so with Peter Bradley is pretty much the experience of the film. It's just me and Peter hanging out. I was the only one involved in the whole production up until the time that we needed a composer to do the soundtrack. And can I say, I'm sitting here now with issue 17, Chris.
Oh my God. Do you know how much money that's worth?
Which I bought, probably a lot, right?
Yeah.
It's the collector's edition with James Dean, which I got when I was in film school in Austin, 1988.
Oh my God.
So this is the best press I've done, I want to tell you.
Well, congratulations on getting into Slamdance. I know it's actually more difficult. As I said, it's more difficult to get into Slamdance than it is to get into Sundance. Let's bring on some more filmmakers here. I'm going to wait because there's a couple filmmakers here. They're Shujaat. You're going to have to help me on the pronunciation of your name.
That was perfect.
Shujaat.
Yes.
Shujaat, welcome to the Film Threat livecast here, Hollywood on the Rocks on a Wednesday. Tell us about your film starring Jerry as himself. Or no, wait, sorry. It's The Underbug.
The Underbug, yeah.
The Underbug. Apologies for that.
Yeah. So The Underbug is a horror film. It's a psychological thriller. It's set against the backdrop of India's Independence Day, and sectarian violence has broken out into the country. And the two rioters who have taken shelter in an abandoned house. And both of them are at each other's throats, of course, to know the other's religion, either to feel safe or to feel threatened. And that is when they realize that there is a presence in the house, an eerie presence in the house.
Well, is it in English? Is it in Hindi or Telugu or?
Yeah, it's in Hindi. Although the season for Telugu is on with RRR, but
yeah. No, but that's great. That's great. I've gone down a whole rabbit hole after discovering RRR, and that's amazing. So congratulations. And I love also when indie you know, like I love indie documentaries and I love indies that are genre, horror, sci-fi, fantasy. Love that stuff. So congratulations
Thank you
on
so
getting
much.
into Slamdance. We've got some more filmmakers. They're going to be joining us here. Let me see. We have Lawrence, right?
That's right. Hi, Chris. Hi, Alan. How's it going? This is Law or Lawrence.
Law. Good to meet you, Law.
Good to meet
Cool.
you.
Tell us about your movie, starring Jerry as himself.
That's right. I'm the director of Starring Jerry as Himself. It's a docu-fiction feature about Jerry, who's an ordinary immigrant dad retired in Florida, who was recruited by the Chinese police to be an undercover secret agent. And Jerry happens to be the father of our producer, John Hugh. So it's a very personal story and a really kind of fantastical one.
And John is actually here. He's joining us. He's not on camera at the moment, but here he is.
Hello.
Here he is. Hey, welcome, John.
Hi, thank you so much for having us here. Thrilled to be here.
Okay, cool. I just want to say to all of you, congratulations on your films getting in. This is the beginning of your journey. What you're going to be, from here, where it's going to take you is, you're going to have your film seen by a lot of people. How does that feel, having your film seen? I've had friends of mine who are filmmakers, their movie, they threw up just as their movie was about to premiere. Can you tell us like what that experience is like? I assume you've shown it to people, but not premiering at a film festival. Who wants to go first? Just jump in. Whoever wants to talk about that.
I think John and I can kind of go first because, we've told a very personal story about John and his family.
Mm-hmm.
And we're very excited to share the story of the world because, Jerry, who is John's father, thought it was super important for everybody to hear his story, but it is nerve-wracking. It's the first time an Asian American family has kind of revealed like the inner workings of, drama and kind of tragedy in their lives. So John and Jerry are particularly nervous, but we're all very excited as well.
Cool. What about yourselves? Are you going to throw up before your screening or be nervous? Anyone else want to jump in?
If I have to throw out, I would prefer to before rather than after.
Okay,
hopefully not at all.
Yeah.
It's always stressful, but that's why we do films, to show it to people. So it's incredible to have a chance to do that.
We can all get our own bins and
Film throw up pot pails.
It could happen. It could happen. But let's go we've got some comments here from people. We've got almost 450 people watching us live right now on YouTube. So let's go to your comments. We have a super chat here from Elliot Cecil. For once, the guy isn't stupid in the adaptation, though. Oh, I think you were talking about.
Yeah. Probably want to scroll down and get the later chats than.
Okay, cool.
In the early ones.
I think we were talking about The Last of Us before you guys joined us.
Oh.
Davina Duckworth says, thanks for covering Slamdance, guys. Imperfect says, I encourage throwing up. You always feel better after. And Solomon Thornton says, a round table for filmmakers. Love it. One of the pieces of advice that I always would give to filmmakers is don't give up exactly what your budget is. You don't want to say, but if any of you are willing to reveal your budget, not to a distributor or whatever, and you don't have to say the exact budget, but like a range. And also when it comes to indie film, I know that there's a certain amount of sacrifice that goes with it. So if you're willing to reveal sort of a budget range for the project, I know with documentaries, it's really almost impossible because it's mostly sweat equity. But maybe a budget range, and then what were some of the sacrifices that you had to make? And I would like to ask everybody this question. And here's a comment from Randy, says Indian horror. Randy Watson says Indian horror. We have a lot of people who watch our channel from India because we've been covering Indian cinema since RRR. But Shujaat, maybe we'll start with you and we'll just go around.
Yeah, sure. Chris, sorry, I missed.
Just like your budget range, and then what were some of the sacrifices in order to get the movie made?
So we shot the film actually 2 years back during peak pandemic in August 2020. It was challenging because Mumbai had just started opening up and we had to take our security passes, and we shot it on the outskirts of of Mumbai. We were a bunch of 30, 35 people who went in, and there was this amazing house which was owned by a friend of mine. And I called her up one day and I said, "Hey, I want to shoot a film in your house. It's a 150-year-old house, ancestral property." And she said, "Yeah, of course. Why not?" And I said, "But I have no money to pay you." She said, "Well, then you guys just have to stay there, with my folks and bear them, and we can go ahead and shoot." So yeah, I mean, the challenges of the pandemic were definitely there in terms of the protocols and all. We were out 10 days, and it was a great experience in that sense of it. In terms of budget, yeah, uh, I'm really not too sure in what range we have, because we are still not, as independent films. You keep on taking favors. We shot it on the Sony Venice, so we wanted a certain kind of finish to it. We just had 4 lights, 2 lenses, 2 actors, and we went boom, boom, boom. So yeah, I mean, I still have to pay a lot of people, and hopefully, if the film finds its place in the business world, yeah, that is how. But the intent was all of us wanted to come together. It's an important story, especially given the pandemic and what was happening in terms of the social divide and the change in social fabric related to caste, creed, color, religion. So that is what the film actually explores: the horror of man.
Well, let's some people are saying don't reveal the budget. I was sort of a joke because I really don't want you to reveal the budget, because part of the reason is like I think someone said under the price of Titanic. It's less than Titanic. That's what somebody said. But that is a thing. And like, also, I've seen some remarkable films that were made. I knew what the actual budget was, and it looked like it cost like multi-million dollar budget. There's so much you can do with production value, whether it be location, an actor, digital effects, and whatnot. So I was being somewhat sarcastic. I think it's more, we have some questions here from people asking, I Was a Bear says, how did they get the budget? And so that's a question you may want to address. Bethel Game says, how high the budget is not important. What counts is what you make with the budget.
I think to your point, that what you're trying to bring across is the fact that the budget is not enough, and as people want to get into making films, and what were the challenges to where the budget was not allowing you to do certain things? Did you have to get creative, or did you have to cut things? What were some of those considerations in your particular films?
Yeah, Crux Reju Che says, I don't know. We get some weird names sometimes. I'm glad you're all on here. I'm looking forward to the art film because I'm a struggling digital artist. Holy Wars says, my budget was giving up my personal life for 2 years. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, I think we could all identify with that.
I'm assuming none of you have a personal life. But this is an interesting question, and it's the number one question I get when I do panels. How did you find financing? Asks Snakes and Funerals. I mean, there's so many different ways. Crowdfunding, I think, is very popular and reliable. There's private equity, coming from friends and family. Slamdance movies are small. I'm going to guess mostly. Does anyone want to reveal or talk about how you got the financing together, or what was that?
John and I can kind of talk a little bit about our secret finances for this project. I think
Sure.
that to answer Alan's question a little bit, kind of like what were the main challenges of the budget? Like what could we not afford? For us, it was kind of, we made a film about John's father who went through this experience as an undercover secret agent. And everything had already happened by the time we kind of sat down with him and understood what was going on. So we had to go and recreate everything. And to do so, we figured we might need an actor to play him. And only a couple guys in Hollywood, like maybe Tai Ma, could play, like a 60, 70-year-old Asian dad. And we certainly can't afford him, on a drop of a dime. So we decided, Jerry, why don't you just play yourself? And he said, sure, only if I get to be in a spy film. So we saved maybe, 6 figures just casting John's own father to be in his own film about himself, about his own kind of experience. And because of the circumstances of his extradition, he had to leave the country. And therefore, John and I had to rush and shoot this before he was deported, basically. So we had to self-finance it. It was something that we did for super low budget and a lot of sweat equity on both of our ends and wearing every single hat possible. But it was sort of, we had no choice. We had to just make this thing or otherwise not get the opportunity to.
It sounds like the style of the Pez Outlaw. You know, the Pez Outlaw was an event that already occurred, and then they did these recreations, which were fun and kind of hysterical at times. So that's really interesting. Anyone else care to answer the question regarding financing?
Mine was it was all sweat equity, friends, family, and I also come from the advertising world, so I sold my soul to do some ad films and make the money and invest it in buying my soul back.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, this is another good question from the chat. Holy Wars. Chris, can we see the Slamdance films anywhere via streaming? Alan?
Yes, the answer is yes. It's at slamdancechannel.com. Last year, it cost you $10 to see all the Slamdance movies. This year, I believe it's like $7.50, $7.99 maybe.
Yeah.
So less than the price of a ticket to go to the theater.
How does the inflation work in America?
Yeah.
It goes down?
Yeah.
Well,
so maybe it is $10, but it is less than the price of a movie ticket, and you can see all the Slamdance films.
Yeah, there is literally
Slamdancechannel.com.
Yeah, so there's literally a Slamdance channel on Roku. I'm not sure if the app
On
is
everything, Roku, Apple,
right.
the major devices.
So just download the Slamdance app. It's like a streaming service, and you can watch all the movies, I think, for a limited time. It's like 1 month, I think.
Mhm.
Is it a month or a couple weeks? Anyway,
It's a
so
month-long subscription.
you can see all of these movies via the Slamdance app for the cost of one ticket, maybe less than the cost
Less than.
of a ticket. $8? It's nothing. So that's great to hear. Very good question, Holy Wars. Appreciate that. I'm excited for all of you. I have a last question I want to ask, and I'd like everyone to address it in some way, is we get a lot of filmmakers on, talk to our audience. A lot of people in our audience are aspiring filmmakers, and you know, there's just so many things that you could say, but if you had a really close friend of yours and they were going to make their first film, their first feature film, what is the one piece of advice you'd want to give your friend, your very close friend? Just need to tell them one thing only. What would you tell them? What piece of advice would you give?
It's harder than you think.
Finish it. Don't stop during the process. Finish it. No matter how, just finish it.
Cool. Who else?
Listen to no advice. Just go and do what you believe in. Do not listen to anyone. Learn it on your own. Make your mistakes and figure it out. Just don't listen to anyone. Do what you believe in.
Cool.
And I think from us, just like choose a really personal story. I think that, you know, your first film should represent everything that you believe in and who you are.
Cool.
Yeah, for me, I would say find a partner. Like I've been working with Law for like 10 years now, like shorts and anything you can think of, music videos and a bunch of creative stuff. And once you find a person that you get along with and work well with, it's like it makes it a lot faster. Yeah, you know, it can feel very lonely pushing that rock up the hill, but know that there are like producers and people out there willing to, you know, die on the sword of like making indie film, because some people just want to make art. Doesn't matter the money. It's like some people just want to make art, just want to see art.
I thought you were going to say cast your dad. I think that's
oh yeah that's
cast your dad in the movie.
Cast your dad, cast your brothers, your sisters. Yeah.
But that's great. You guys are you all in Park City? You'll be there for your premieres?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Can't
congratulations.
wait to meet all you guys.
Looking forward to meeting you guys.
Yeah.
We are covering Slamdance remotely. So we will be covering Sundance and Slamdance remotely.
Hmm.
So unless if you haven't left, maybe I consider hitching a ride to Park City. It's crazy this time of year. Anyways, congratulations to you all. Really just have a great time in Park City. And really just can't wait because this is the Slamdance is like the first step on a journey. You're going to play other film festivals. You're going to get in, you're going to travel with that. You're going to have distribution deals, but eventually, hopefully before the end of this year, everyone will get to see them in commercial release. If not, Slamdance itself. So thank you so much for appearing here on the Film Threat Livecast. Alan, anything else?
No, like I said, you can watch every single film on the cheap at slamdancechannel.com.
Cool. That was great. That was so great having those guys on. Can't wait. I actually, like I say, I prefer Slamdance movies to Sundance movies.
You know, when you look at the Sundance list and the Slamdance list, you are absolutely correct.
Cool.
And these are truly independent films. You know, these are not, unfortunately, they're not funded by any big streaming, any big studio. You know, these, you just heard here that it's sweat and tears that made these movies.
Or sweat equity. What were you trying to?
Sweat equity? Is that what I'm saying?
Sweat. Yeah, sweat.
Yeah.
Sweat. I think that.
By the way, it's $7.99 a month. $7.99.
$7.99. All right. I'm probably just going to do it myself. It'd just be easier. We're going to wrap up with some chat questions and comments. A lot of you still want to talk about The Last of Us. Does this make my ass look big for 5? Hey, Chris and Alan, 4 films opening in my area. Holy Spider, Broker, Verisu, and Walter Viraya. Any recommendations if you've seen them? I just saw the trailer for Holy Spider. That looks really good. That looks really good.
What is that one about real quick? I know we reviewed it, but
it's a thriller. Yeah, I would does this dress make my ass look big? Go to the Film Thread website, look these movies up and look up the reviews. And Broker, I've heard of Broker. That
Broker,
good.
Broker I like. It's from the Hirokazu Koreeda. He did Shoplifters. And this one he's a Japanese director for the South Korean movie. And it's about these guys who are brokering babies in South Korea to families. It's a touching, funny movie.
Cool. And Holy Hand Grenades asked, this panel was great. Is this a new thing you guys will keep doing? At some points, we may do this again for South by Southwest. Probably do something longer. Maybe show trailers from some of these movies, but what we do is we like to kind of end the show with a single filmmaker interview. We've never done like a round table. So that's something that we may return to do. Who knows? So we'll see. But yeah, I'm a fan of the round table or, panel format.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan of it. So yeah, we like to experiment. Obviously I think our channel is mostly focused on reviews. We try to mix in your mainstream stuff, mainstream reviews with reviews of movies that you haven't seen or haven't heard of, like smaller indie movies. I think we're talking to a indie filmmaker on Friday. It's in our, wait, I'm going to look up right now. I'll tell you exactly who we're talking to.
Quick, Chris.
What's that?
Quick, Chris.
Yeah, I'm already reading it. The Stalking Fields with the co-writer and star Sean Crampton and co-writer producer Jordan Wisely will be on our Friday show. We're also going to be talking about the movie Missing, Virtually Heroes, Skinamarink, and Velma. Got to add Velma to this because Velma's not out today. It's out.
Yeah, no, it comes out tomorrow.
So we'll definitely be talking to Velma.
The longest 25 minutes of my life.
No, I love it, man. I love it. It's going to be fun. And we've got these are all the other movies are like small indie movies. And then we've got an interview. I mean, look, I like to kind of mix it up. And also the fact that like we have access to these filmmakers, these indie filmmakers, because what they do is they always come to Film Threat first. And then what they do is they don't talk to us. They get a big deal. They're directing a Marvel movie. Suddenly they're like gone. I've seen this happen many times. I've seen it happen many times. So it is what it
We're
is.
not bitter. We're not bitter.
But no, yeah, we're definitely doing filmmaker interviews. Filmmaker panel is something that, we're going to try out and see if it works. But we've also been doing bigger panels. We did our watch party for the Golden Globes. We are going to be doing a watch party for the Oscars. I'll be inviting on a bunch of people. That's going to be a huge Oscar watch party. I think it'll be tremendous. So check that out. But yeah, great. Let's see. More MAGA says, have Law and Shu again. Important. So yeah. Well, once we get to see the movie, and Retro Nerd Girl says, I love that cool filmmaker panel for Slamdance. Well, thank you, Retro Nerd Girl. And shout out to you. Your channel is blowing up. I love it. But yeah, no, we're definitely going to do more stuff like this, but I prefer a one-on-one conversation. We'll try the panel format. It is a little weird because filmmakers are not necessarily YouTube savvy. Filmmakers, I think, need to focus on what filmmakers need to be good at, which is making movies. And clearly, if you've gotten in the Slamdance Film Festival, you've gotten attention, you've gotten notice. Yeah. But being
I will say they're humble because no one talked over each other.
So. Yeah. Next time, be less polite. How about that? Talk over it. You should be fighting for the floor. There you go. All right, folks. We're gonna be. God, all I can say is this: I miss Glenn. Yeah. I miss Glenn. That's all I can say. Alan and I are flying solo. Davina Duckworth, Chinese spies, definitely important. Davina Duckworth, they were very polite. Pyrene Dream, last director standing. Let's see. Good group of guys, says Corky's chilling. But I want to thank you. Over 400 of you still watching. Normally we get to the end and we have the director come on. We lose like a ton of people. But we didn't lose as many. All Twisted Up says, jumped on late, but made it for the indie filmmakers. Good stuff. Can't wait to see their films. Well, you can see all of them. Just get Slamdance. Get the Slamdance.
Slamdance.com.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. That's it for us. Alan, you have anything to plug?
Let's see. Well, we do have our Sundance and Slamdance coverage starting tomorrow and going throughout next Friday. We're already getting a lot of reviews in. So and I've got mine. Somehow I got a ticket to Infinity Pool, and I don't know if I want to watch it or not.
Oh, okay. Why don't you want to watch it?
Because it's a Cronenberg movie, the other Cronenberg, but
Brandon Cronenberg.
It looks really creepy.
No, it looks that's on my list. I think I'm seeing that. God, I forget exactly when I'm seeing it, but I am seeing it. Not next week though. Yeah. But yeah. So
apparently, I literally accidentally hit a button and it gave me a ticket to Infinity Pool. So
that's cool. Okay, so just go to filmthreat.com. We'll have reviews of everything playing at Sundance. We've got how many writers working?
Oh, this one 6, I believe.
So we've got 6 writers covering Sundance. We've got other writers that'll be covering Slamdance. I hope we get up reviews for all of these movies from the filmmakers that we just saw. Oh, look, here's a review of Bruce Willis.
It's the third of the Detective Knight trilogy.
Oh my God, there's 3 of them. But look, Film Threat, it's where you go to see movies that people are not going to. I heard about this film, Alice Darling.
Yeah, Bobby liked it. He liked it.
Okay, good. That's good to hear. But starting tomorrow, our Sundance coverage kicks off. Please go to filmthreat.com and check it out. And we will be reviewing films from Slamdance. Alan, what else would you like to say?
If you're in San Diego, I will be performing at the National Comedy Theater this Saturday at 7:30. But I think what you really want me to say is
no, don't say
not yet. Okay.
No, don't say it yet. I just want to thank everybody in the chat for sticking with us and just for being interested. A lot of, and we talk about it, there's a lot of stuff that Hollywood's putting out that's just not great. Some of it you could call trash. Indie film is where heart and passion exists. In particular, I would say indie films that are at Slamdance. I know it sounds like I work for them, but I truly am just a huge fan of what they do, and their whole reason for being very much aligns with what we're trying to do at Film Threat. So thank you for your interest. Thank you for watching. We'll see you Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific time. Reviews of new movies. Alan will have seen Velma. So much to talk about. Alan,
let's get out of here.